Another reason as why you won't want to set and forget, I think, comes back to the next question is, sort of how secure or private are these networks? Can we piggyback off somebody else's beacon network? And the answer to that is absolutely yes, you can. And this is a benefit for some, and it's a worry for others. So where it's a benefit, if you are the owner, or you're representing a large facility with a large number of beacons, well, actually, you might want to lease those beacons out, to lease that information. But as Wendy said right at the start, a beacon just broadcasts a signal, just the same as a radio broadcasts a signal. You can choose to tune your radio and listen to that signal, but that signal is going to be broadcast regardless. It's public. It's in the public domain, and anybody with a scanner, with a Bluetooth scanner, can very quickly get the signals or understand the signals that are being broadcast around it. Yeah. So for others, you might not want to, so for people who are deploying them in public spaces, you might want to lease that information out to people, because somebody doesn't want to go to a physical location to determine that. The marketing agency in London doesn't want to have to drive to Cardiff to walk around Cardiff Arms Park to know the IDs of the beacons, but they may be interested in marketing to rugby supporters, and then would buy that information from you. So that's a good thing. A bad thing is where you don't want people harassing or targeting your customer demographic.
Yeah, so if you think of the people that are maybe in this one particular fairly well-known coffee shop brand that sells coffee for $3 US dollars, and and this happens to be in Thailand, and that people who frequent that coffee shop are fairly affluent, they're fairly wealthy, and if you sniff and scan for the beacon UUID, recall sort of the first question, what UUID is, you sniff for that UUID, and the people who are entering that shop are receiving a message off that UUID, you could use that UUID for your own benefit, whether that's in a different location, it doesn't have to actually be in the coffee shop, you now start broadcasting that, and so those affluent customers, when they pass where you want them to pass, having got that UUID, now you can target them with your content. So there is an opportunity for people to piggyback off other people's UUID. So this one of the key things to think about is, how do you manage that protocol? How do you manage making sure that those UUIDs aren't sniffable, or if they are, that they don't last for a long time, and you have an ability to change that so people can't piggyback off your brand and your customer base.
Yeah, and without making it a headache.
Absolutely.
Yep. So that we're able to change that, but also change people's apps as well. So to make sure that the beacon knows to broadcast a different signal, and the app knows to listen for a different signal. And again, that's something that we've been working very hard on solving, both on the hardware side and the firmware that sits within those devices, and on the software side and the SDK that you use for your app. And if that's a particular challenge or something that you're interested in learning more about, again, you can follow up after this webinar, but we will need to get you under a non-disclosure agreement to start talking about how that all works.
Right.